Turner Yell makes the stop in the secondary for Denver. 1st and 10. The fake. Good block in there, and down it goes. Caught at the 30.
Welcome to the Fins Tailgate. It's where we elevate. Miami Dolphins talk, yeah, we never hesitate. Breaking news, hot takes, we keep it up to date. And when the fans speak up, the panel resonates. We live that aqua and orange from the field to the mic. Breaking down the plays, man, we talk it every night. From Tua to the defense, you know we keep it tight. NFL moves, you know we got the insight. We open up the floor, yeah, it's your time to shine. Fans drop the heat with opinions realigned. You got concerns, bring them, we're gonna chime. The Fins Tailgate's where we keep it prime. Welcome to the Fins Tailgate, it's where we elevate. Miami Dolphins talk, yeah, we never hesitate. Breaking news, hot takes, we keep it up to date. And when the fans speak up, the panel resonates. The NFL's changing, but we stay on the grind. Latest breaking stories, we don't waste no time. From the trades to the rumors, we make them all align. At the Fins Tailgate, we always on the climb. We're repping the Dolphins, but it's NFL wide. From South Beach to the league, we keep it worldwide. Got the fans engaged with the energy supplied. Come kick it at the tailgate, we're riding high tide. Welcome to the Fins Tailgate, it's where we elevate. Miami Dolphins talk, yeah, we never hesitate. Breaking news, hot takes, we keep it up to date. And when the fans speak up, the panel resonates. So if you love the game, you know we got the gate. Tune in, speak out, don't wait, it's your fate. This is the Fins Tailgate, now watch us dominate. Miami Dolphins, NFL, yeah, we integrate.
Morning, folks. How you guys doing today? And welcome to the Chef Jew Wrestling Talk. My man of the hour, how you doing today, brother?
Doing good. How everybody doing?
I'm doing good.
Everybody's
Waiting
good.
for my
Everybody's
Hurricanes
good.
to play in a few minutes.
That's good.
In
What's
a few
going on,
hours.
Anthony? What's going on, Anthony? What's going on, Crazy Dolphin, Mr. Punk? What's up, brother?
Good.
Hey, how's it going, Papa Paul, man of the hour, Dolphin winners? Anthony, how's everybody doing today?
I'm
Everybody's
doing well.
good. I just want to start off the show and let you guys know we are going to be sticking to the topic, meaning that when we start a topic, we're going to stick to that topic. We're not going to veer off. We will not be talking over each other. Everybody will have their chance to talk on here. And we're going to be talking about tonight's fight. That will be the last topic of the day. But we will start this off. With this. My views and points are not responsible from the TFTG and or the WCFL Dolphins Network. So this is all me speaking. Saul Dolphin Winters. I am taking full responsibility to say what I'm going to say on this podcast. So I am not, this right now is separate from the Fins Tailgate and it's separate from the WCFL Dolphins Talk. Anthony, I don't mean to attack you, but Wednesday night, before you speak, I don't want you to overtalk me either. Wednesday night, you said a nice little wisecrack about Mike McDaniel being Tony Khan. And before you respond on this, I want to break something down to you. For a person that doesn't watch the product, you have a lot of hate towards AEW. You can be a WWE mark, you can watch TNA, you can watch whatever you want. But when you attack a product that you don't watch on a consistent basis, I have a problem with that. And I take that shit personally. Because my whole thing is this. I'm not gonna lie to anybody on this fucking panel. WWE product has not been that fucking good either. Sometimes they put a lot of glitter on shit sometimes. I've seen a lot of botches. I've seen a lot of time being used up for promos where we need to watch some wrestling. And especially for the first topic that we're going to go right into, how the WWE is gouging the average fucking fan out of their fucking money. For example, charging fans $2,300 at the last show for John Cena at Madison Square Garden this upcoming year. So we are going to start with that topic. Is WWE gouging the fucking fans or having the fans, putting the fans at a disadvantage of watching their product by upping the prices. Man of the hour, I'll start with you.
Yeah, the international thing that WWE is doing, like, I guess you could say is kind of good for business, but what business? That it's good for their business, you know. So, and if you look again at that, you saw the video of when they made this announcement.
Mhm.
Even some of the wrestlers in the background didn't look too happy about it. Like you could tell on their faces, like they didn't look like they wanted this to happen. I mean, Saudi Arabia. I mean, does this open the door for future, um, maybe pay-per-views or PLEs in their words, to do more of these, the big shows, the WrestleMania, the Royal Rumble, the Survivor Series, the SummerSlams. Those are the main four shows that we know about that we started with with the company. It always was four main shows, and now we got almost two shows a month now. And that should tell you right there how they're pressing to get this money, because that's really all what it's about. Everybody talk about how great of a job Triple H is doing and all this other stuff. I mean, that's as far as talent goes and the product and how it looks, but it's kind of like you're selling yourself. You're selling out for whatever. Because I mean, the whole ESPN thing, it's like, to me, all of it is a money grab. And like I was telling you backstage, they're just gonna filter out the people that can, and filter in the people that. I mean, filter out the people that can't, and filter in the people that can.
Mhm.
And so we're going back to the old days of when pay-per-views was first starting up. What it was, $40, $50 an event we were
Right.
doing back in the 90s and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So we're going back to that again, because when the WWE Network first dropped, I loved it. The whole idea of $9.99, and you get to watch all the pay-per-views, and you're just paying $9.99.
Correct.
Now we're on ESPN, and so even if you're a subscriber to ESPN, you still got to buy the event. So it's like, that's not good, because like, what am I paying a subscription for to watch what? Only the free stuff that you can't put on TV because you don't have this many channels on a cable network or whatever. So that's what the whole app was for. So, and in order, and ESPN, for them to do what they do, they got to bundle it. They want to bundle things to make it seem like this is a better deal, when it's really not. I mean, it's really not. I just feel like everything that they're doing is a money grab, and the whole thing, Saudi Arabia, just another money grab for them, because there's a hell of money out there to get, and WWE is trying to open up the doors for this international world and whatever, because everything has always been United States, and which I guess we're used to.
Right.
But they decide to go elsewhere and want to move it around, and like I said, we're looking at Saudi, and pretty soon, who knows what other countries they're going to probably move to. Like, look at all the countries they did in the past couple of years on other
Right.
shows. So what if they sit up there and start? We may not get WrestleMania again in the future till WrestleMania 35 or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's crazy. But I mean, I just feel like, it's all. I just feel like everything's a money grab for them.
Anthony, what you think of what's on this subject? What do you think?
Yeah, no, for me, I'm not shocked, because sports in general has been pricing out the everyday fans. They're caring more about the corporate fans, or like corporate sponsorships, and like they're making it more expensive for fans like us to. It applies to every sport. It's not only pro wrestling actually that's doing this. Where they're pricing out fans like us that watch the product every day or go to the events every day. They rather have a certain type of fan, which is the corporate people and sponsors at these events. Like that's why even I've noticed this. Even like nosebleeds are getting into the thousands now. Like I was looking at I wanted to go to a WWE event in Tampa once for my birthday and I couldn't because even nosebleed tickets you're paying like $1,000 now, almost $1,000. So they're pricing everyday fans like us out. Do you agree?
So I'll say this to you, and I'll say this to the panel. My ticket that I priced when I went to Raw about a month and a half ago, my ticket was about almost $300, and it was all the way up in the nosebleeds. I priced the AEW tickets here. Today is the last show at the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia. The cheapest ticket was $80. That tells you a lot. And even though it's a smaller venue, it's still like, what the fuck? Like, I can't see. I say, for example, me and the man at Hour, we were talking backstage, and this past WrestleMania, I watched a gentleman film a video. He went to the WrestleMania in Vegas, spent $250 for a nosebleeds all the way up, and he had to watch the fucking pay-per-view on his cell phone. That's a problem. I'm not paying $250 just to be there, and then I gotta pull my phone out because I can't see the ring. I'm not doing that. I don't care how much wrestling or how much of a fan I am of any organization. If I gotta pull my phone out to watch a fucking game from where I'm at, I shouldn't have went. That's just me.
Yeah, I
Mr.
agree
Paul,
with you.
what do you think, Mr. Paul?
You know what? All the years, I've been watching wrestling ever since I was a little kid, and I had the opportunity to, go
Right.
to one or two matches. It's sad because, I mean, to pay that much money, I would say that for WWE to be expanding the way they are, you would think that it would bring the prices down, especially when you're talking about us here in the United States that enjoy wrestling, and I mean, man, that's sad. I didn't know that. And then also too, I'm mention something else that I'm saying too. Um, for years you were able to watch WWE like Monday Night Raw on cable TV, on regular cable TV, or should I say the basics. Now
Right.
you have to have Netflix now to watch Monday Night Raw, and not
Correct.
everybody can afford that. And and Dolphin Winners, I could be wrong for saying this. I think the majority of fans, wrestling fans, whether it's WWE or those who come over to from maybe other ones like AEW to come to watch WWE, the majority. I'm sorry, to me, the majority of them cannot really afford the go see these wrestling matches with the prices that they're charged, and then for them to do it where you're at home and now you can't watch Monday night, you can't watch Monday Night Raw unless you get by Netflix. I mean, to me it's sad. And I love wrestling. I'm not giving it up, and I'm not putting down the company, but they need to change that up because you're gonna mess around and start losing a lot of customers. Because to me, I think most of the fans really cannot afford the expensive tickets that go on to the wrestling matches, and also they can't afford being at home and have to add Netflix to their cable network to watch it.
And Mr.
So
Polk,
with that,
you brought something up. I'm surprised on Mondays WWE doesn't simulcast since they already have a contract for SmackDown on on USA. Why don't they just simulcast Raw on regular cable television on USA on Mondays too? For people who don't like, they can make both money both ways. People who have the streaming service that don't have cable.
I can answer that question for you.
Is it too much money
I
for
can answer
them?
that for you. And not to
I'd
cut
like
you
to hear
off.
that.
Sorry. No. What it is, all right, so here's the deal. Netflix, and man of the hour, you can correct me if I'm wrong with this, but this is how I think it happened. WWE has a contract with Netflix, and I think they signed $1 billion contract with them for how many years? Like, what is it? 7 or maybe 6 or 7 years?
10 years.
Something like
10 years.
that. 10 years. Okay. So they signed a 10-year contract with Netflix, meaning it's exclusive, meaning that it can't be simulcast on USA or any other network. So basically, and this is another thing, like you mentioned this earlier, Anthony, yourself. You said as the time goes on, basically, you see how corporate is moving shit over. So we see it not just only in wrestling, but we've been seeing it in sports where the NBA, MLB, NFL, NHL are getting away from network television, even though they're still on certain cable stations due to the fact they're still having contracts with them. They're moving them over to the apps now, meaning that these apps, these companies are giving these guys, these companies and promotions more money than what network TV can give them. So that's why you can't simulcast on a network, because they already have the exclusive rights to them for the next 10 years. So that's the reason why you can't do it, because once you sign that contract, I own you for 10 years, meaning that I can do whatever the fuck I want. Like, for example, they up the time from 8 o'clock to 7 o'clock now. Raw will be starting at 7 o'clock, starting Monday. So I don't know. Yeah. They announced it. They announced it the other day, and now it's going to be a special cycle, because the reason why they up the time now is because of they're competing with what? Monday Night Football. Monday Night Football got 2 football games on this coming week, which one game is starting at 7 and another one starting at 10. So they really don't want to go against the competition of Monday Night Football. That was the reason why USA wasn't getting. Well, there was other reasons why USA wasn't getting the ratings they were supposed to be getting. Well, if you're going against Monday Night Football, which the majority of the demographic is going to watch football other than wrestling, and I don't care and I love professional wrestling, but a lot of people are going to watch football before they watch professional wrestling. That's just fact. So Anthony, I'm going to start with you. So now with the announcement of WrestleMania being in 2027, how will this affect the average person even more of watching professional wrestling from a WWE point of view? How do you think it's going to go down?
Honestly, I feel that's a bet. People can't. International tickets, flights are very expensive. They're like $3,000, $6,000, even $10,000, depending on where you're going. So you can't. Families who are on a budget can't afford those type of tickets to go to an international event. Like I understand why WWE is doing it because of the money, but you're forcing people to choose between the product or not feeding their family but supporting their family, and people of course are going to choose supporting their family over going to an event, even though a wrestling event is an escape from everyday life for these people. They can't afford international tickets going to like Europe or like if it's true that WrestleMania is probably going to be permanent after 27, is it permanently going to be in Saudi?
So I'm not. No, it's not going to be permanent. But I will say this to you: I wouldn't be surprised that you might. All right. So here's the thing. Thank you for bringing that up. I know that for a fact that Royal Rumble is going to be held in. I think Royal Rumble will be held in Canada next year, if I'm correct. And if I'm correct, they have a contract with Riyadh. It's okay. It's in Toronto, but they have a contract with Riyadh, because you remember that Turkey is also a part of the TKO deal that brought boxing to that TKO deal. Now he has his hand, because he was the one that put the $100 million up to bring to bring WrestleMania to Saudi Arabia. So don't be surprised. You're not only going to just have WrestleMania for 2 nights there. They're going to also have their King of the Ring there also at Riyadh. So they're going to try to have more events in Saudi Arabia and globally. So I understand about the money, but TKO is screwing the average fan. They are screwing. It's not the WWE. It's TKO. And TKO
Area
is trying to
manual. You think it's
they're
more
trying to
area manual than the actual people
yeah.
who run WWE?
Yeah. It's a TKO thing because you got to think about it like this. They bought the WWE for $9 billion. Right now, the last time I checked, they are $3 billion in the hole, and they are still losing money on this deal. They're trying to find any way, which way to recoup that money, and the average fan is the one that is paying the price, and that's
Mm,
what's really hurting a lot of people. You said it the best. You're making people sit there and choose from feeding their families than go to a WWE event. And I mean, that's mostly in anything because everything is going up with inflation. That's a whole nother subject, but that's what it is. And I'm sitting there looking at it. I'm like, bro, like nobody's gonna be choosing. Like I can watch this shit at home. You know what I'm saying? And the WWE and TKO gave Stephanie McMahon grief because she was putting out a VPN. I don't blame her because nobody's gonna have money to sit there and pay for a whole WWE $30 a month plus I gotta pay the money for the pay per view. No, bro. No, no,
I
not
thought
at
this
all.
contract I thought this contract actually eliminates the purpose of a pay-per-view. Like having I thought this would mean that because I'm going to use UFC as a perfect example. They're eliminating their pay-per-view model completely. All their big events, even the numbered events, are going to be on Paramount Plus and Paramount Paramount
Mhm.
TV and stuff like that on cable for free. I thought that's what's going to happen with like WrestleMania,
Mhm.
Rumble, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series, where you're not going to have their premium live events, but you're not going to be paying. You're going to be able to watch
Mhm.
it on free TV, like on ESPN or ESPN2 or something like that. That's what I thought this deal was going to do, like completely take away the pay per
I
view
think a
model.
lot of
Like
people thought that way.
well, I got a question
I
after
thought the
that.
same thing too. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought the same thing too, Anthony. Real shit. I thought the same thing too. But then when I heard you're paying for the ESPN Plus, but then you got to pay for the pay per view itself, and I'm like, that don't make no sense to me. I mean, it makes sense business wise, but it don't make no sense to the average person like myself or you or Mr. Paul or Man of Hour or Papa Paul, which even Papa Paul don't watch wrestling, but that don't make sense. Like I gotta look at my dollars. I gotta look at my bank account. I gotta look at what's more important, than professional wrestling. I'm not gonna tell you how I watch my wrestling because I don't want to get this station shut down. But I will say this: I find ways to watch stuff, and there's no way I'm going to sit there and have to pay $30. I used to have ESPN Plus. I used to have it back in the day, and it was good for the moment, but then it was stagnant because you didn't have the actual. Now here's the craziest shit, and this is what they don't tell you on ESPN Plus. If you do not have the certain cable provider, you can't watch that game. Meaning that okay, the game is on their app, but if you don't have the cable station or you're not subscribed to that cable station, you still can't watch it. It's still blacked out to you. So that was the thing I got. That's the reason why I got rid of it. I got rid of it over a year and a half ago. Because I'm like, well, shit, if I'm paying for the app, just like you said, if I'm paying for the app, then I should be able to watch my games for free. I have no problems. Everything will be cool. Wrong. You still got to be subscribed to a cable provider to watch it, or you still got to do X, Y, Z. And like you said, now with Paramount Plus going over, UFC going over to Paramount Plus because they signed a $1 billion deal over there. All their stuff is going over to Paramount Plus. And with that being said, we're going to go on the next topic. And oh, wait, my bad, Mr. Paul. What did you want to ask?
Well, this is kind of controversial, and I want to try to keep it as simple as possible. I seen a video on the internet with a triple, and when I say this, I'm gonna try to keep it in wrestling. I seen a video where Triple H actually went to the White House, and I'm gonna say this: I'm hoping that 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 they're not going to how should I put it? Um, try to try to push the NFL. Man, well, let me say it like this: you make the
Okay.
WWE overshadow the NFL using certain
Connections.
using that visit. That
All
let's
right.
say that visit. I'm trying not to make it political. That's what I'm trying to
All right.
say.
So here's the thing. All right. So let me break it down to you. Linda McMahon is a part of the Secretary of Education. She's the Secretary of Education. She actually has to go. She was appointed that by Donald Trump. Triple H.
Hmm.
Uh, Donald Trump appointed Triple H as the he wanted to bring the fitness back. Triple H is the head of that. So
Okay, gotcha. So that's
That's what their connection is with the White House.
okay.
Um,
Well, all right.
I
Well,
see
we can
what you're.
deal
I
with
see. Okay, so I see what you're saying. No, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'm gonna tell you this right now, and I think everybody up here loves professional wrestling, and even people in the chat loves professional wrestling. Professional wrestling is not going over the NFL. It's
Mm.
not happening.
okay.
I'm not shitting on professional wrestling. I
Hmm.
love professional wrestling.
Same here.
If you put professional wrestling on like we do on Monday nights and Thursday nights with TNA, if you put professional wrestling up against against NFL, the NFL is going to kick professional wrestling as 99.9% of the time.
Gotcha.
That's
Gotcha.
just what it is. Because people
Okay.
love their teams. You got men and women. Don't get me wrong. You got men and women that love professional wrestling, but they're gonna want to watch their fucking football team, or they're gonna want to watch that pigskin get thrown around before they want to watch somebody put somebody in the headlock or do a shooting star press. Okay,
Exactly.
so that's the majority. I won't say everybody, but I think the majority will sit there and pick NFL football over professional wrestling. And then I might be wrong. You have a lot of people that put professional wrestling over NFL because they don't watch NFL. So
Hmm.
I'm just saying, this is my accord. I really believe that NFL would always beat WWE, AEW, TNA. Doesn't matter what organization. It's just no. I don't see that. I don't see that
Yeah,
at all.
and
They can
and
try. They can
and
try.
actually,
You know.
and, and Dolphin winners actually. What people forget too is now the streaming services are almost becoming like cable. You're paying your money, but now you have to deal with commercials now. Like,
Yeah.
have you seen that with Netflix and like Amazon
Oh my
Prime or
god.
Apple and stuff like
I'm
that?
gonna
Where
tell
you
you this, dude. I'm gonna tell you this. I think it's disturbing that if you pay for a fucking streaming service and you're still watching fucking commercials, then what's the sense of me getting a streaming service for?
just
Like
stick
I
with
don't want to
cable.
watch commercials. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't want to watch commercials. Now, don't get me wrong. If I got to pay for no commercials, that's different. I have no problems with that. But my whole thing is, if I get a streaming service and I want to watch a program, and I'm thinking, okay, it's on this app, like you said, Amazon Prime or Netflix, or I should be fine. I see. I'm going to be honest with you guys. The reason why I don't like going to WWE events is those long fucking pauses in between. When I went to the show in Philly about a month ago, the show was a good show. But my whole thing is, it was like, okay, we're wrestling, but then you knew when they were in the commercial, you knew they was in the commercial break. You knew, like, you could tell when they was in a commercial break with WWE. Like with AEW or TNA, they do things differently. Maybe they might be wrestling straight through the commercial break. You get what I'm saying? So at least the consumer, the person that's there in person, like don't get me wrong, WWE does wrestle through commercial breaks too, but it's like you can definitely tell when it's a commercial break going on with WWE, then you would with AEW, then you would with TNA, then you would like with New Japan, like different organizations like that. You can just tell the dynamic. The dynamic WWE has its own world. Anthony can agree to this. WWE is in
Yes.
its own world by itself. It is WWE and then it's everybody else. Okay, people
Yeah.
want to sit there and model their companies somewhat after them, but they don't want to take the whole demographic. You know, like them or
Yeah.
not, WWE is always going to be
See,
the big brother in the professional wrestling family.
yeah,
That's just what
yeah,
it is.
yeah. And Dolphin Winners, I want to push back a little bit. I'm an AEW fan too. I watch the product every day. It's just sometimes,
Hmm.
like, depending on what, like, I have to choose between the pay-per-views. I don't watch every AEW pay-per-view. I don't watch every WWE pay-per-view if they're simulcasting. I have to choose between one and stuff like
Right,
that. So I'm
right,
a
right.
fan of Broke. And that comment, I was more criticizing Mike McDaniel in terms of, when I say he's like Tony Khan, he wants to be friends with his employees instead of a boss and stuff like that. Like,
Well,
like,
I'm gonna kick back on that real quick. I'm gonna say this to you. I understand to a point where when you say that, but I'm gonna say this. As a man that actually runs the company, he's the judge, jury, and executioner, right? He, and we're gonna go back, and I don't want to get off the subject, but I want to just put this out here. When CM Punk came into AEW, that man gave CM Punk his own show. Collision was supposed to be CM Punk's show. Okay,
mhm.
this man laid out the red carpet for CM Punk or whatever. We all don't know what the fuck happened behind the scenes, but guess what? CM Punk is a part of the blame of that shit too. To make, he really shitted on the whole thing of what was going on. I think CM Punk was mad because a lot of the things, and don't get me wrong, Tony Khan, sometimes his booking can be horrendous. I really will fucking agree with you 100% on that. But actually, right now, I'm going to be honest with you. Right now, as for like the last 6 to 8 months, they've really been on a consistent roll, and they actually are getting things together. Due to the fact of injuries or mishaps, storylines got to go to the waistline. They got to go to the wayside because you can't continue a storyline if you don't have the right components in line. But he needs to get better with his booking. He needs to let other people book better sometimes too. And I have no problems with that criticism. McDaniel, on the other hand, is they gave us this fucking hope and dream of this was the boy genius. He was a run guru. He was this. He was that. I don't want to get into Dolphin football because it's a wrestling podcast. But in the last fucking years that we've seen, he's been 6-9 in the last 15 games, and he put up 8 points in a fucking first game of the season. And when you gotta have a players only meeting after week one, we're the fucking trouble. That's
Mhm.
just what it is.
Yeah,
And
no,
and I'm
I
gonna
see
be
what you're
honest with
saying.
you. I know Michael K in there and all that, but like we're like I'm gonna be honest with you. We're fucked tomorrow. I'm a diehard fan. I love this team. I've been a fan for 31 fucking years. I love it. I love the Dolphins with all my heart. But I'm a realist. I don't lie to myself. And I will be honest with you. You can say that Tua is 7-0 against the New England Patriots, but he is 0 for forever against a Mike Vrabel led team. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna stick to my guns of the fact that I feel that we're gonna get our asses handed to us tomorrow. And I think that changes will be coming after week 4, week 5. I think changes will be coming. I don't want to get into Dolphin football right now. I want to get back into the wrestling subject. I do want to shout out everybody in the chat.
Sorry, I
Appreciate
veered
you
up,
guys
made you
coming
veer off a little
in
bit.
and listening
And
to
and
us.
and,
No, you're
and
good.
Dolphin,
You're good. No, you're good.
and
But
Dolphin.
yeah.
Oh, okay. And Dolphin wins. You absolutely right. Like like Anthony, I enjoy A&W wrestling. Also, if I could try to catch TNA, I will. But you're right though, because when A&W goes to a commercial, they do like a little side thing where you can still see what's going on doing commercial, and then once they hit a certain commercial, then it stops. But with WWE, like they do pause and what have you. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'm gonna say this, and this gonna sound crazy. I enjoy wrestling so much that I can kind of endure the pauses and the commercials, and what have you. Especially when football season's over with. That's my in between when it come down
Right.
to football season is wrestling, and I love both of them. But I will say I'm like you, Dolphin wins. I enjoy football more. But getting back to wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I see the pauses and that, but I just enjoy wrestling so much that, and the reason being, see, I didn't have the opportunity like you did, Dolphin went to go and see, matches, what have you. So with me, I've
Right.
just watched it on TV and what have you. So you know, I, I understand what you're saying. with the commercials and the pauses and what have you.
You know, this goes back to like I've been saying for weeks on this show when I mentioned things like that about these matches are long and they go through about 2 or 3 commercial segments. And even though they have the little, like you said, the little match on the side, or sometimes they just go straight to a real commercial without the wrestling on the side. But it's like shorten the matches, bro. I mean, this is the problem when we go back in the days of when we talk about why certain wrestlers wasn't getting TV time and stuff like that. Because you're sitting up here, instead of having these matches, especially on live television or whatever, and you have a 3-hour show, but you're dealing with mostly commercials. You got like 4 or 5 matches a night that runs, like I said, go through so many commercial breaks, and we're still in the same match. Cut some of those matches time down. Like save that long match for the pay-per-views and all that other stuff. Because other than that, we're watching Monday Night Raw or AEW Dynamite or whatever, and we got, such and such versus such and such, and then we're like a few minutes into the match, they go to commercial. Then they come back. We're still wrestling. Somebody gets thrown out the ring or whatever. Now you just laid out on the floor, and out of Michael Cole or Tony Schiavone. Oh, we'll be right back. Like, bruh, you can always tell when they're gonna go to commercial. You just know when it's coming.
Yeah. No, and it's a double-edged sword, man of the hour too. Is fans complain that the matches are too long, or fans are never happy. They complain that the match is too short and you're not giving enough time to the wrestlers, but then they complain the match is too long and you're giving time to wrestlers that don't deserve it. Like, so what is the company supposed to do?
It's like it's a double-edged
I mean, okay, so
sword. You just said it, Anthony. It's a double-edged sword. It's like a damn if you do, damn you don't.
So what about when people
you go ahead.
You're talking about people who don't deserve it possibly, but what about when there are injuries and stuff? You got to put somebody up to the forefront now. You know what I mean?
Agree with you.
Even if you kept somebody behind the scenes, now all of a sudden this person has to be brought up because this person got hurt. Like they usually, look at Naomi's situation. She's out because of pregnancy. And instead of doing what they normally do all the time, they have a fucking tournament for the vacant title. You just automatically you already had your 2 competitors. Just like that. And gave your bullshit reasons on why, this person was this and this person was that. So we're just going to give them. What about everybody else? I mean, Chelsea Green won the women's United States title from a tournament. So she doesn't get that same opportunity to go after that title?
Agreed. 100%. 100%. 100%.
And these companies have their favorites.
No fucking star on the fucking roster right now.
Oh, and you guys were talking about. I want.
All right, so you know what? That's a great. Start it off. Go ahead, Anthony. Do you think
we were talking about tickets earlier
treatment than others?
Okay, as fans who probably watch a lot more wrestling than I do, actually, back in the 80s, 90s, and stuff like that, even like were ringside tickets back then super expensive, even back then, or because there was no really like regulations on if the promoters can gouge prices for tickets back then. So that's what I wanted to ask you guys. You.
All right. So I went to
are too expensive, but
I went to WrestleMania. I think it was it WrestleMania 17 or 18. It was here in Philadelphia. It was The Rock versus Stone Cold. All right. So my whole weekend. This was my whole weekend. The only thing I didn't go to, I don't think they did the Hall of Fame thing. If they did it somewhere else, and I think it was more just for the wrestlers and I think their families. I don't know if the fans were able to go there. But what I will say is,
the
I paid for the Rage party. I went to the Rage.
You asked about the Hall of Fame. They did it in the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York.
Right. No, I'm talking about
They,
back in the day when I went to WrestleMania.
oh, okay.
I went to WrestleMania here in Philly. It was WrestleMania 17 or 18 back in the day, and it was Austin versus The Rock at the First Union Center. And I went to the rage party the night before at the convention center. I paid maybe for that. That was like I want to say $60 or $80. My WrestleMania ticket, I got it the day of WrestleMania. I got it from Tower Records. Yeah, I'm that old, and I paid $120 for my WrestleMania ticket, and I literally was right next to like the WrestleMania sign, and it was a good seat. Like I could see all the wrestlers walk out. I had great view, the whole nine. If I would have paid $250, and they showed where that gentleman was sitting at Reliance Stadium this past WrestleMania, none of us could have seen where he was. None of us. And I'm not paying that type of price to sit there and be watching something at the event on my phone. I'm not doing it. That's disgusting.
Yeah,
I think it's a
that's
disservice
that's
to
crazy.
fans. Like, don't just you know, yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
you
you
know
just
it's a
paid for
money
the
grab when you
experience.
see all the
Kiss my
little
ass. I want to
sponsors
see it.
stuff they put. You know it's a money grab when you
Yeah.
see they fill up the ring with the sponsors, and you got Prime sitting outside every show and all that. You know, it's like, oh man, come on, man.
Like
the
Come on, man. I
for
think
example, and I know Anthony's seen this. I know you've seen this Man of the Hour and Crazy Dolphin. I know you've seen this. I was a little pissed with Tony Khan. I was a little pissed with Tony Khan because Tony Khan started doing that shit, and then he probably took the fucking advertisement off the ring and actually just sat there and had the advertisements either with the LED banners around where the audience was sitting, the barricades or whatever, and he
Yeah,
did it like
yeah.
that. Now you took that from WWE, bro. Just be who you are. What's up, Shake Money? What's good with you, brother? And what's up, CC? Um, Stick to what you know. Like we all know that you got to pay the bills. We know you got sponsors sponsoring you. Like we knew, and even when Vince was there, this is bad. Like when you got tables and chairs that got Slim Jim logos on it. When you got the Prime Energy drink, which that's Logan Paul's brand. Then you got all these fucking sponsors, all on the logo, all on the ring apron, all on the turnbuckles. Like it's just overkill.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, and for me, I find no offense, but I find it hypocritical that old school fans complain. Like Vince did this in the '90s too. Like let's not act like in the Attitude Era there wasn't. I know it's not as bad, but there was.
Yeah, I was about to
There
say
was.
that.
Yeah, he did that with like. Remember, you always used to see the 1-800 collect every show for either SmackDown or Raw
Hmm.
every Friday and Monday. So and Slim Jim commercials
I was
every
about to
every
say
week,
that. The
huh?
Slim Jim commercial. Yeah. I was about to say that about the Slim
Yeah,
Jim commercial.
Macho
Macho
Man with the
Man.
Slim
Yeah.
Jim.
And they
Yeah.
still doing it. It's still doing that commercial with a hint of the Macho Man um
Yeah, they're doing
making
it
his
with
sound.
LA Knight and Bianca.
Right, but they still
Respect her
keep
too.
Macho Man
Thank you, Shane. Yeah,
in. Mhm.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
but
Thank you,
do
Shane.
you agree
Stopper
with me,
too. Yeah,
Mr. Polk and Dolphin Winners and Man of the Hour, that you find it hypocritical that fans complain about that? I know it's bad now, but let's not act like it wasn't like that in in the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression Era with
all right.
sponsorships and stuff
Well,
like
but
that.
but
Okay,
but it didn't
all right.
interfere like
Go ahead.
with
Go
the
ahead.
matches and stuff like that. That's my complaint. Like I don't care how what you sponsor and all that other stuff and where you want to place it at. You want to put it all over the ring and have the ring looking like Little Wayne's tattoos, be my guest. But it's just the fact that when you're watching the show, when you when you're watching the show, it's like again these long matches, you know, and you want to sell a product, fine. I mean, I guess give us sort of commercials, or I guess because commercials sometimes run long too now. You
oh
know,
yeah,
they
they
run
do.
sometimes long. So I remember back in the '90s, I went to my high school football game, and we were televised on ESPN. And out of all the games I've been to, it took me a while to realize like why are these timeouts so damn long?
Mm,
And it because it was
You know
TV time.
why?
there you
It was
go.
Hmm.
TV timeouts, and I'm like, that's why. Because it's just like they oversaturated with it with their
So,
stuff. Like, and they got to make
Yeah.
sure they have it. I mean, all the way from Snickers to Prime and whatever, and then we get full of those commercials and whatever. But like I said, it's not about what the commercials are or what they're promoting. It's about how many of it we're getting and the
it's more about
matches.
the oversaturation of the promotions
Yeah, yes,
than
it's the
the
matches that I have a problem with that are just going on so long. I mean, especially older guys like Randy Orton took on Drew McIntyre last night. Like, do we
Yeah.
really want to take a chance and seeing old Randy Orton possibly get injured in a match
Yeah,
that could have been the match could have been done, and I mean it could have been a squash match, like, you know something that happens real quick for the older guys and whatever, like not too fast but decent enough, and they
Yeah.
know they can do it because we've seen it before.
well, and what I was asking about tickets, I meant like if you guys went to a NWA event or like an AWA event, like these smaller promotions, like the territory, since
right.
there wasn't really regulations on tickets, were the promoters allowed to gouge prices like back then? Like that's what I was asking. Like if you
All right.
went, that's
I
what I
think
was
Mr.
asking.
Pope. I think Mr. Pope can answer probably for the down south promotions. One thing I'll tell you this, bro, and I still to this day, which I dread. I wish I was old enough to go to an NWA show back in the day. Because when I got to NWA, it was Gordon Soley and those guys. We're talking about 85, 84, 85. And actually, at the time, that's when Vince McMahon was trying to buy NWA. And he actually was, that was the first and only time he was on TBS TV until he bought WCW years later. But I got into it around that time, and I never got a chance to go to the Civic Center. That's where the events would be held here in Philadelphia. NWA used to wrestle at the Civic Center. WWF used to wrestle at the Spectrum, and I never got a chance to get to an NWA event as a kid. But I will say this: as when I got into high school, when I got to my first WWF event, it was the Ultimate Warrior. The main event, it was a house show, and the main event was Ultimate Warrior versus Ravishing Rick Rude for the Intercontinental title, and my tickets cost me $15. And Anthony, I'm gonna be honest with you. This is way during the time. And I know you probably are old enough to remember. There was a time where wrestling events did not sell out. All it was sold out was the floor and a little bit up in the floor. The rafters up top was empty as hell. Like people don't remember those times. I remember those times when you could go to. I could go. Let's say this. I remember a time I could go to an event and buy my tickets the day of the event, and I knew they had tickets left. You get what I'm saying?
Oh
So
no,
I
no,
remember
I
those
never
days.
went to
I
live.
don't remember
I've
those
always,
days. This not selling out is normal.
yeah, I never
Yeah.
see what you're talking about. I never experienced because I never went to live wrestling events a ton because either where we lived, we really didn't like outside of like uh smaller smaller promotions and stuff like bigger like
Right.
when I was younger, WWE rarely went like they didn't do a ton of shows in Miami until recently and stuff like that when I lived there. They
Well,
did
Right.
they did
I
special
mm,
events, but they never like I tried to go to Bash at the Beach once and it was way too expensive because this was when the company was starting to go out of business and they had to basically raise the prices the gate and stuff like that.
and
Hmm.
here in Miami, most of the time if they had wrestling down here at back in the days, it was at the James L. Knight Center. That's where they had it at most of the time.
Okay.
And also, just like Andrew just mentioned, Bass on the Beach. But they didn't really have that Bass on the Beach that much. They had most of the matches. I mean, most of the wrestling when it came down here was at the James L. Knight Center. The tickets were I
Hmm.
can't I forgot the prices of the tickets, but they were the best way I can say it was they were okay, and then as time went on, they started to get a little pricey and what have you. And then
Right.
the other thing is this, also too, down here in Miami, for people who couldn't afford it, they actually had not. When I say wrestling, I'm not talking about main event wrestling, because like I said at the Jamesville Night Center, but they had wrestling down here because you could go to certain flea markets and watch wrestling, for a low
Right.
price. But those days are long gone because,
Yeah,
like
you
I
don't see
said,
a
I'm
lot of there's not a lot of indie promotions because like Man of the Hour and you guys say WWE and the bigger companies bought out some of these smaller like regional promotions and basically like incorporated them into the company and stuff like that. So you're not really seeing a ton of regional promotions anymore and stuff like that for wrestling because
yeah,
of the monopoly mindset in the business in general. Do
yeah,
you?
and I want to say this too, and this may sound crazy. The WWE put out, um, eh, I gotta say at least, um, and when I say like I said, I'm not, don't get the wrong idea. They did two cartoons with cartoon with the Scooby Doo character,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
to when they did it, and if you watched it, it actually gives you an idea of what the WWE really is, how big they really are, with a couple of cartoons that they had with, like I said again, with the Scooby Doo character. And it's like this one cartoon portrays the WEWD as almost like a country or a state itself,
Mhm.
with little cities inside of it and what have you. So that, if to me, that was like a wake up call to me. This to show you just how big the WWE really is and how they have expanded. Because
Mhm.
right
Do you
now
guys
it's
remember
not too
Saturday
much.
Night Cartoon
Hold up, hold up,
Sunday?
hold up, hold up, Anthony. So right now it's hard for some of these smaller wrestling venues to get going. It's a wrestling venue called Wow, which is all women's wrestling, but they cannot compete with WWE and
Well,
even with AEW.
yeah, I watch WoW sometime, and it's owned by the lady who owned the Lakers, Jeannie
Genie
Buss.
Bus.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's
Genie
the
that's what
Bus.
one.
owns
Yep.
She's the one that runs that company, and it's a small building, a small venue. You see the little upgrades. It depends how long you've been watching. I've been watching. I just started really last year, and
it.
so
Same here.
it's basically a remake of Glow.
Yeah, yeah,
Anybody know who
exactly,
a Glow
exactly.
is? It's just a
Yeah, I used
remake
to
of Glow.
watch Glow. Hmm.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and this is one of the benefits I like. I understand people are afraid that the ID program is going to kill the independency scene, but honestly, I think that independent scene is going to be benefiting a little bit from the WWE ID program because it can increase their production value and stuff like that and get them introduced to instead of just their regional like their own state, it can get introduced it gets them introduced nationwide, not just around the region that they're in. Do you guys agree or disagree a little bit, Winners?
I'm gonna. I'll say this. I'll start it off like this. I'm gonna disagree, or I'll play devil's advocate. The reason why is we all see what the WWE is doing. The WWE is clearly trying to just sit there and take care. Because right now, let's just start off like this. WWE bought a AAA for the simple fact that they didn't want Tony Khan to buy AAA. That was number one. WWE started a WWE ID program because they're really trying to keep all the competition from getting a lot of these wrestlers, like your companies like AEW or any other organization. Right now, rumor has it that that WWE is trying to buy TNA. That is in the works quietly. Trust me,
Mm.
and it's been because they have a great working relationship. And now, as of yesterday, what I found out is TNA is not allowed to have any workings with AEW at all due to the fact of the relationship with WWE. WWE is just trying to be the colossus of the professional wrestling world, and they're just trying to control everything. They are going to
Everything.
counter a program against AEW and or any wrestling or any other wrestling organization, with the exception of TNA. They're going to counter program with them by any stakes. They want to be the know all be all. They don't want anybody else to watch anything, and they want to just be the shit. And the problem with that is this, okay? I have no problems you doing that, but the way you're doing it and the way you're fucking like us as the average fan, it's not going to work because you're going to still have these AEWs and you have your now Maple Pro Elite Wrestling out of Canada, and you're going to have all these promotions that give you these wrestlers, and they're going to give them to you at a reasonable price, and that's why
Exactly.
these organizations are going to always going to be around. So I'm going to play devil's advocate. I see. Here's the thing, Anthony, and you probably noticed already. They were trying to launch a WWE Tokyo. They've been trying to release a WWE UK. They are trying to globally fuck the whole market. And I don't have a problem with you getting your money, but then sit there to be a point where you're just making it where the only wrestling that is there is WWE is an atrocity. I think it's horrible. And if you're going to try to dictate my views or just watching your product, that's not going to happen. Because I'm going right to New Japan and All Japan and all that stuff over in Japan and just leave American wrestling alone if it ever came to that point, like I did for the last maybe 19 years before I came back to start watching Bray Wyatt in WWE. So
And you brought up
I have
Japan,
no problem.
and you brought up Japan
Right.
actually. Her Tanahashi, who is running, what's it called, New Japan now.
New Japan.
I think he
Yeah.
recently did an interview where he says he wants to try to sell New Japan to WWE.
Hey, listen, if it works, but then if that's the case, then that ends the relationship with AEW. And I kind of can't get mad with that because AEW really haven't done much for New Japan. Like you've given them exposure, and you guys got a working relationship where New Japan Pro Wrestling is streamed, that AEW streamed on New Japan Pro Wrestling's app and all that. But you really like creative wise, and this is where like me and you can agree with this, Anthony, and even you, Man of the Hour, and you, Mr. Paul. I have a problem where the creative, where I don't see a lot of Japanese wrestlers being successful over at AEW. Not just from their organization. Like right now, Konosuke is the shit over there. Like he's the man. He's gonna be the next one. And you know who Okada is. If you don't know who Okada is, you need to go do your homework. But I'm talking about people from the New Japan Pro Wrestling. You need to have somebody or bodies come over there and sit there and give them a great run. Like I need to see them hold the TNT belt. I need to see them
Exactly.
hold. I need to see them have a nice run where they're upset. And that's where I have a problem with. This is where I can agree with Anthony. This is where I have a problem with TK when it comes to creative. So if it actually does happen where WWE, because there was a fucking meme where The Rock was wearing a New Japan Pro Wrestling shirt, and there was a video that showed him wearing a New Japan Pro Wrestling shirt, which he's stirring up the pot. Hey, listen, if TK loses it, it's TK's fault, and I can't blame anybody but TK. I hope it doesn't happen that way, but if shit happens, it happens.
And the perfect, you bring up Japanese wrestlers, the perfect guy as an example of this for Japanese wrestling and AEW, they turned him into a joke, basically. The Stone Pitbull. Basically,
who?
he's
Well, he ain't a joke. I'll tell you this. He's talking about Ishii. He ain't no joke. He's currently right now the never openweight champion, which is a huge deal because anybody can challenge for that belt. Anybody at any weight class can challenge for that belt. And
no,
I
how
know
they
for a
portray him
fact,
on TV.
like that dude is no joke.
How
Right.
they portray him on TV.
With the gimmick with the conglomeration and everything.
Yes, that's what I mean. Like he's become a joke in the
Right.
conglomeration because that's a comedy stable almost, in my opinion. Like so, that's what I mean by Tony made him into. He's taken seriously in Japan, but when he gets to the U.S., the American audience just sees him as a comedy act. Is what I'm saying.
Not really.
Well,
All right, so here's the thing. If you know who Ishii is, if you know who Ishii is, And people know real. If people know professional wrestling, we all know he's not a comedy act. It's the same thing. Now I'll say this. I'm gonna tell you who. All right, so if you want to sit there and make that case, then we can go back to Taka Michinoku getting signed by Mr. Man to a 20-year contract, and they made all his boys comedy acts. But we know who those fucking guys were in New Japan and All Japan Pro Wrestling back in the late '80s, early '90s. They were killers. Like fucking what's the guy that's with Otis all the time? The Japanese man. They talk
Akira
about.
Tozawa.
Tozawa.
Dude,
Oh yeah.
I want you, everybody in the fucking chat and yourself and everybody on this panel right now, I want you to look up on YouTube that man's run in fucking New Japan and his Japanese runs. He is a fucking monster in Japan. So, yeah, I understand that you feel like they making him look like a clown. They making him look worse than what the fuck they making Ishii look. You get what I'm saying? Because Vince didn't really have a lot of respect for Japanese wrestlers, and that pissed me off about Vince McMahon. Like, they actually have house shows of WWF wrestlers wrestling at the Tokyo Dome and actual wrestlers from New Japan, like fucking Choshu and fucking Tenzan. And you had fucking
Kenzo
I'm
Suzuki.
missing the one. And Muto. Yeah, these guys was coming out. And Kazuki, exactly. They were coming out and challenging wrestlers from the WWF, and Vince wouldn't let it happen because he knew them motherfuckers was gonna fuck them dudes up. See, the wrestling over there is strong style. It's completely different than American wrestling, and I tell people that all the time. Like that strong style shit is different. It is completely, and I'll say this: the way they wrestle over in Japan is like they tell their, and they do it here in America too, to a point. Maybe in a pay-per-view. Like I'll be honest with you, Tony Storm and them do this very well. They tell you a story in the ring. If you pay attention, if you sit there, it's like a movie where it starts off slow, and then you get into certain parts, and then you see the story being told, and then you're going to start getting the climatic scenes as the show goes on. Then you're going to get that great finish, as if everything goes well. That's exactly what Japanese wrestling is to me. They start off slow. You might sit there and get like kind of weary in the beginning. Then it starts picking up. Then you start hearing the fans get involved. Then the shit, like it's crazy the energy of Japan is than it is in America. If you had some of those Japanese matches in America, some fans would get it and some fans wouldn't get it. And I can understand it, but I tell people, you might want to do your homework on some of these guys that they're making comedy acts here in America. They were fucking monsters where they were.
Yeah.
Real shit.
Yeah, old school catch wrestling was like that. Like if you watch like AWA and like the old school stuff from the 80s and 90s, catch wrestling and was that type of storytelling. That's a lost art in the United States. Like it's more about the entertainment now than it is like the storytelling and in-ring psychology.
Remember, everybody. I agree. But do you remember? And this is going to come right to what you just said. Everybody remember the wrestler Norman Smalley?
Yeah, I remember him.
Right. Okay. You know that Norman Smalley was a catch wrestler. He was one of the first shoot fighters over in Japan before shoot fighting, before UFC, before any of this shit was like major. He was doing that shit in Japan before even being a true professional wrestler. He was a professional wrestler, but he was doing shoot fighting and professional wrestling in Japan before he started doing that screaming Norman Smalley shit. That was fun for him. That was light work. That man's trained a lot of. He's trained a lot of the professional wrestlers that we know today to be successful. He trained a lot of them. So a lot of
AJ,
folks,
didn't he? Didn't he train
I'm
AJ
correct?
Styles?
Yeah, I think he did. Yes. Yeah, man. Like he's
I got a chance to see him down here when I was telling y'all that I seen Glycerin at a flea market. I also seen him at a flea market. That's how I found out about him. Though, from the same information you telling us right now, that's how I found out about him. Yeah, that man.
And to me, the guy that I felt I wish they took him more seriously was Ernest the Cat Miller. If you guys remember who that is.
I know who Ernest was. You know what it was? You know what it was, Anthony? They said he was too stiff. He was fucking people up for real. That's why motherfuckers didn't like working with Ernest. A lot of people didn't like working with Ernest and Cat Miller because he's truly like that whole karate shit. Like he really does that shit. Like that's not an act. He's not acting. Like he is that boy. He is that boy with them feet and them hands. So
Yeah, Steve
I would never
Blackman.
want to. Yeah,
Steve Blackman was like that too. People hated working with Steve.
dude, he's a train killer,
Wait,
yo. That motherfucker. Steve Blackman.
what you say about
I mean,
Steve Blackman?
people hate working with Nia Jax, but you know,
Oh my God!
boss,
No, let's go back to Steve Blackman for a second. Let's go back to Steve Blackman. We'll go right to Nia Jax. I want to go Steve Blackman, Nia Jax, and then I want to talk about the show, and then we're going to talk about the boxing match in the last half an hour. Steve Blackman literally lives about 3 hours outside of Philadelphia, in outside the outskirts of Hershey, Pennsylvania. Steve Blackman has a school. I think he has schools open in upstate Pennsylvania, and he is a trained. He's not only a trained fucking marksman, a trained killer. He is who the fuck he is as advertised. I want you guys to look up if you got time today or whenever you guys are free. Chris Van Vliet shoot interview with Steve Blackman on YouTube. It's a really good watch, and he will talk about how I think he went and fucked up. Who did he fuck up? He went up there to go fuck somebody up. I think it was Vader. I think they had a show up in the area, and he found out it was a show in the area, and they knew who he was, so they let him in the back, and he literally he almost came close to beating the shit out of Vader. Like literally. And that's not the only person that beat the shit out of Vader. Paul Orndorff is another person. That's a whole other story. But like this dude he was no nonsense. You don't pull ribs on him. You don't do none of that shit. If you did, you might as well go fucking run because he's gonna fuck you up. Like he really is. Nia,
He's a multi-time black belt in karate. I think. Like he worked with Paul Mitchell, the guy who does those competitive karate things on TV and stuff like that. He actually said him and Paul Mitchell started multiple schools in the Northeast and stuff like that.
Yes, absolutely. Nia Jax, on the other hand, guys, man, hour, you can go. You can just. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. You can go in on Nia, for real.
I think Nia issue. You know how they say some people don't know their own strength, and I think that's her problem. I don't think she realizes how much power she's actually using in certain situations. I forgot who it was when I think she made a return. It might have been Tiffany. Maybe it wasn't Tiffany. Maybe Tiffany was on her side at the time. But I mean, she literally squashed the hell out of this person and then smacked the shit out of her while her arms are just pinned under you. Like, I can't defend myself. I can't cover up a little bit. And you're getting these cheap shots right at my face right now. Like, what is all that about? I mean, I don't know if it was just some heat or whatever, but I don't really think it was heat. I just think Nia Jax is just overly aggressive with certain things. And and she just be too rough to me sometimes when I see some of the things she do, and the way she throws people and the way she hits or the way she throws her own body weight at them, you know? And I think I know they want to make you the dominant force, but you look like you about to hurt somebody for real. And I know you've hurt a few people for real.
I'm quite sure you did. That would not surprise me. That would not surprise me.
What about when she landed on? I mean, now I won't say that was on purpose, but what her name, Lyra Valkyria?
Oh shit! Oh my God, she damn near killed her ass. Jesus.
Exactly.
I was like, oh my God! When I seen that, and I knew that's what here's the thing. We know professional wrestling. I know that's what the spot was called for. But good Lord. I was like, oh my God. I don't know what was worse. I don't know if it was that spot right there or recently a couple months ago when they had the trios matches there was a trios match with Nikki Bella, Stephanie Baker, and I think somebody else, and they went against Chelsea Green, Piper Niven, and the other young lady. And
Yeah.
there was a spot where Piper Niven did a fucking elbow drop and damn near knocked Nikki Bella's implant out of place.
Yes. Yes.
Mm.
Oh my god! I was like,
She,
oh my god! Oh,
she's
it
another
was like,
one. She's another
oh
one.
Jesus! She don't know her fucking dewdrop. My bad, Piper Niven. Jesus! Oh
No,
God!
she don't.
I was like,
She don't because what was that? That was was yesterday. I that no, it was. I'm sorry, it was last night. I had caught a clip of some on something on YouTube where she got involved in the match between Stratton and Jade.
that was
Mhm.
last
And
night. So we could, yeah.
yeah, and man, at the end, man, she went through both of them. I mean, and I agree with you. I don't think I don't think she know how strong she really is, and I hate to say this too. I'm not picking at her, or how heavy she is too, because the way
Mm.
she sometimes come down on these ladies' chests, I said, "Oh my goodness,
And
she
you know
might actually be crushing their
you
ribs." No, go ahead.
the crazy part is
Mm.
she lost weight.
Right, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
that's the craziest part, bro.
but her strength, but you know what, man, Otter, you right. But her strength has not diminished.
Oh
She's just
no.
as strong as can be.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You're right on that. She lost the weight, but that strength is still there. She's still strong.
I don't know why they just don't put her in like those type of 2-on-1 matches and little squash matches and stuff like that, just to like keep her going and whatever. Cause until you could find like Jade, I love Jade, god damn it, but golly, man, she's still
I,
wet behind the
I
ears.
thought
She's
I thought I was the
oh,
only one. I thought I was the only. Thank you. I
she
thought I didn't want to sound like a hater. I didn't want to sound like a hater. I love Jade. I've met Jade. I think Jade is a beautiful person. That's when they get into this to anything, and I want her to be great. I really do.
mhm.
But I'm with you 100%. I understand that she is a marketing figure. I understand that her physique, herself, her look, the way she carries her whole persona is her. I understand you're making money off of her, but we need some women from back in the day that are about her size work with her. Like literally, I need, and there's some women out there that was her size back in the day that can pull her to the side and say, "You need to do this." And I know they're doing this at the Performance Center. But
Mhm.
I hear because my whole thing is this. I think the reason why they're keeping this Tiffany and Jay thing going on is I think Tiffany knows how to work with her and Tiffany knows how to make her look good. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that Jade is completely horrific. I'm not saying that. I think
Right.
Right.
Jade has good spots. I think she's improving a little. But I think now you've been in WWE now for about a year now. Like something is not clicking. And I'm gonna tell you something. It don't matter how much money they can make off of you. Eventually they're gonna sit there and say, hey, they're gonna do you like Braun Strowman. Because eventually you're limitless.
Yeah.
You're
Yes.
limited. You're limited. You're not you can't there's only so much we can do with you. Like, so it's a shame to say 'cause I love Jade. I want Jade to be a champion.
Just
I would like to see her have a title run and all that stuff. But it's not time yet. It's not.
just
Well,
just like you
my
brought up Braun Strowman, I think that Braun Strowman should have stayed in the Wyatts and
yeah, yeah,
Jade
yeah.
and I mean, despite this whole Naomi thing being pregnant or whatever, that little
Mm,
trio right there with Bianca should have never broke up. I think they would have eventually gotten it together. They could have been what come on. And I don't want to take it to a racial thing, but why is it that, you know, you breaking up the black people and whatever, like especially them, the three black women
mhm.
that could have been like a dominant force or whatever. Y'all could have did the free bird thing, like the New Day thing. They could have been the female New Day or whatever and stuff like that. You let the New Day be together
Yeah,
forever. and whatever. You could have kept them. I'm not saying keep them together like that long, like 10 years, but um it could have been something like that and let them carry the tag team titles and you alternate which is going to be the two. Like there is, it don't matter which one of the out of which two it is and whatever. You could have done that until it was time for Jade to step out because Bianca could hold her own,
Right.
Naomi could hold her own. Jade is still struggling, and I feel like with them two, and plus even other people outside that we don't see working with her,
Right.
could really get her molded right the way she needs to be. And I feel like right now you let her have this so-called significant injury that was caused by Naomi, and now she's on her own, and
Right.
it's still the
Yeah.
same thing, like kind of like when she was with in AEW. That's why AEW
You
had her with those other two women. No matter what, Jade was
and
always with the
Right.
with the baddies or whatever they used to call themselves and over there. And here
Yeah,
you come
that
over
was
here.
what's the name?
Yeah, that was the
Yeah,
cover up. That was the
Layla
cover.
Gray.
Jade is
but
It was what who was that? Layla
but
Gray and what was the other chick with it up? That chick. I forgot what
but yeah, man,
well,
that
yeah,
she
I
could
know
be
what
a
you're talking about.
ROH
it was
title
a
holder
it was
right
a
now.
cover
But
up. It was a
right,
cover up
but
to cover her talent, even though they made her the dominant force. But she didn't have to
mm,
do so much. Like all
Right.
you have to do
right,
is beat up the person, stand them up, and here comes Jade with the boot to the face, or and then Jade
Right.
hits him with whatever her move is called. That thing she does, and it's easy and simple. Where you
Right.
can limit her wrestling ability at least to us, but behind the scenes keep working on her because right now, I mean, I remember that one match she had where she tried to uh jump over the top rope and she clipped herself with the top rope and all that. I'm like, oh
Yeah, I
no,
remember.
not you're not. I know you're not coming over here messing up like that.
right,
Like, why you just
well,
didn't get in the ring regular?
well, I can I, my thing is this with Jade, and like I said, this is just my opinion. I kind of wish Jade would have stayed in AEW for a little bit and get more experience and maybe um pick up some things from somebody, from one of the lady wrestlers in AEW before jumping to WWE because it's a big difference. And I don't know if she realizes it or not. I applaud her because she, like I said, she wants to better herself and get a little more, make more money and all that. But I kind of wish that she would have stayed in AEW for a little bit. Now, also too, I want to bring up something that y'all just mentioned. Look like now they're getting ready to break up the Street Profits. I'm hearing rumors. I don't know how true it may be,
Hmm.
but look like they're getting ready to break up the Street Profits and what have you. And I'm saying, you know, I'm not. Well, I'm saying, part of me is saying why, but the other part is saying, okay, you know why, but it's kind of controversial to mention.
Go ahead, man. Albert, what you think, man? I'll go last.
Um, well, as far as the Street Profits go, yeah, they like he said, I know why, but don't know why. Um, my question is, what happens to? I mean, Montez Ford looks like the big star, like he's gonna be that guy. Now, what happens to what the name? Anthony Dawkins, I think.
Mm, mm,
So, like
Angelo
Angelo,
Dawkins.
okay. So, like, what happens to him? Like, we got a few glimpses of him seeing what he can do in the ring. He has gotten better from when they first started. He's another one that kind
Hmm.
of slimmed down in weight, so he could use some of that athletic
Hmm.
ability and whatever. But
Right.
come on, man, do not Marty Jannetty this dude. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
Just
Thank you. Thank you.
do not let him be that guy who was great in the tag team, but then when it comes to solo, it doesn't really work. I mean, we seen that with the Dudley boys. Like, I mean,
Hmm.
besides what Bubba or Bully, whatever way you know him to be, um, he had a great run as a solo wrestler, but that was on TNA.
Mhm.
When they broke
Right.
them up in WWE, Devon was terrible.
Yeah.
So
hmm
it's like, what's going to happen with Angelo Dawkins if this group breaks up? Are they going to feud with each other? That's another thing. That they love to do that. You break the group up and they'll put them up against each other and stuff
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that for a while. Um, like I don't know. I just hope that they don't do that. Get Angelo into another beef. Like, one is going to be bad, one is going to be good. Maybe go at each other, maybe not go at each other, maybe have some, ways where it's time to go our separate ways. You do your thing, I do my thing, but no type of beef or hatred or something like that, and whatever.
Right.
Because I mean, do we really want to see these two beat each other up for the next few months if it
Not
does happen?
not really. And then also too, and I'm gonna throw this in, and I know you want to end this real quick, Dr. But see, the thing about 4-2 is that he has his wife. He has a wife that I'm not saying he's riding on the coattail of his wife, but his wife is well known, so that also helps him out as far as going solo. Where Dawkins may may fall between the what's the word he may slip out of sight if they don't do something with his line, his storyline.
Yeah. Speaking of his wife, they got a TV show coming up soon.
That's right.
Montez and Bianca is supposed to be on Hulu. It's going to be called Love in WWE.
Hmm.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
That contract.
yeah. So
Yeah, that's a whole nother
I don't know
subject.
if it's just only on them or if it's doing like other couples in the company. But I know I saw their names, and so yeah. But
Right.
yeah, his wife's popularity, and it'll help him. It's like I don't want to say this shit, but I'm gonna say it. It's like the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce type shit. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So,
hmm
um, but and he's starting to, like I said it the other day, a couple weeks ago, he's starting to wear her clothes. Like, you can see it. She's making their clothes, and we know she's a seamstress and all that other stuff she does. She makes her own costumes and stuff, and it looks like she's having her hand into their outfits as well.
Hmm.
So, like, well, now if they break up, she doesn't have to make Dawkins outfits anymore.
Right.
Hmm.
And Anthony, he just answered that. He literally just said what you just sat there and put in the chat, Anthony. He said he hopes he doesn't marry Janetti. He doesn't get married Janetti.
Mm.
And I think Angelo will do well if you match him up with the right people. Say if he has a little singles run and then you have somebody that's like he's not like a tag team partner, but like somebody that'll have his back. Like somebody will be like, yo, da 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 da. Like have somebody come up with the person that you least expect come up to him like, hey, listen, I saw what happened, and I know you're not looking for a partner or whatever, but you're gonna still be somebody that holds your back or have your back, you know. And if they do that with him, then that could maybe help him. You know what I'm saying? And I'm
Yeah.
not saying because like I would like to see how. I'm gonna be honest with you. We all know when it comes to black men in the WWE. I'll be the one to say it. Fuck it. The Rock is acknowledged as Samoan, even though that we know The Rock is Samoan and black. The Rock is
Hmm.
known as Samoan. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now female black wise, I never thought Vince McMahon would actually ever have two African American females main event of WrestleMania night, and we saw that with Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair.
Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
You know, and I tell anybody I watched that match and that shit brought a tear in my eye because I never thought I would ever see that a day in my fucking life. And I think that shows how far wrestling has become. But as for an African American man holding a WWF/WWE title, it seems like it's the stigmatization over there. It's something that went from Vince McMahon now to the whole chief officer Triple H, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. And if
Yeah.
you do, like I'm gonna tell you, the run that Jay had was short because Jay got comfortable.
Hmm.
If Jay sat there and did his homework, I think Jay would have went on a nice run, maybe about 6, 8, maybe a year run. If he would have sat there and stayed with it. What happened was he said it himself. I got the belt and then I got comfortable. I didn't put the work in. And that's why I had to drop the belt. Because they told him they got too comfortable, we're taking the belt off of you. And it was only a 3-month time. And he came out and said, he said, I got comfortable, but if I ever get that opportunity again, I won't F it up. So
Okay.
African American males holding the WWE title, it's like slim to none.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if they do get it, they'll get squashed up like Kofi Kingston, which was disgusting. I
Yep,
think that was the most disgusting display. That fucking pissed me off. I just was like sick to my fucking stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That storyline was terrible with Kofi. It was terrible.
And then to never get another shot, like to just be just completely out of that mix of main events and championship matches and stuff like that. Like you just like they just erased you
Yeah.
and put you right back down to
Literally.
the
To
tag team
the tag
division.
team. Exactly. Tag team and now being a heel tag team at that.
And the only reason why, and the good thing about it that's working for New Day now, to be honest, is that Xavier Woods can stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's keeping them going. Because remember, it was a lot of Kofi and Big E.
Oh, that's right.
Xavier
That's right.
Woods was outside with that damn saxophone
Mhm.
all the damn time. He barely
Yeah.
wrestled. I'm like, at that point, he had more matches in TNA
Right.
as goddamn Apollo than he did in WWE as New Day. But now he's at his, he's good for now. I'd be scared every time they wrestle. I'm like, oh, I hope this man don't have some type of weirdo issue, and because it's gonna leave Kofi by himself.
Yeah, man.
It's gonna leave Kofi by himself, and I don't
Yep.
know how Kofi holds it down by himself as a heel.
Mm.
He does somewhat well. I'm gonna be honest. I laugh, and I think it's more comedic than anything. I think their heel turn is funny. Like I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't laughing if you take my cell phone and smash my cell phone. Fuck you.
Oh yeah,
Like that's a
so
problem.
that was real.
Like I'm hopping over that. Yo, that was
Was
real,
it
bro.
real or
Yeah,
was
he
that
took
a
the man's
spot?
fucking cell phone and said, I
Right.
don't know if they listen. I don't know if it was a plant. I don't know. But I'm gonna tell you this straight up. You take my motherfucking cell phone out my fucking hand and smash it, I'm jumping over that barricade. I'm fucking you up. Like you gonna pay for that cell phone, my dude. Like, and we ain't even doing that, bro. We got a sign.
Hey, yeah.
I don't have a problem with a sign. A sign.
Mm.
I don't have a problem you ripping up a sign. You taking a fucking $1,000+ fucking $2,000+ fucking unit and you're smashing it with your foot? Yeah, I'm fucking you up. Like there's
Okay.
like we're not doing that.
So
That dog
Anthony,
ain't hunting.
we just not doing that.
so Anthony asked, what if Angelo Dawkins' contract is up and he leaves WWE? What were your thoughts of him going on AEW and joining the Hurt Syndicate? I mean, I like it. I like
That would
it
be
I
would be
kind of
interesting.
because it doesn't put him he's not by himself, and he doesn't have to carry
Right.
really much anything.
And honestly, with that idea, I'm back on the panel real quick. I had to walk my dogs. That's why I jumped off. With
take
him
the
being
dogs,
with the
man.
Hurt Syndicate, MVP really, Angelo is a good promo. So MVP really does not have to do all the promos and stuff like that. And let's be honest, doesn't Bobby have a good relationships with the Street Profits? Weren't like
Yeah, they was a
That's
group
right.
before.
That's right.
Bro, they were okay. So according
They
to
were together
MVP,
for a little bit.
according to MVP, the reason why they left the WWE, did not re-sign their contracts, was because all that shit we saw with the Bloodline when it first started with Roman and the Usos,
Mm-hmm.
they took the gimmick from them.
Oh shit! I
Also,
didn't know this. Yeah, school me.
the bloodline came from MVP.
The Hurt Syndicate or whatever they was at the time, the Hurt
The
Business.
Hurt Business.
The Hurt
Right,
Business
right.
was happening when that was forming and developing. All of a sudden, here comes the Bloodline.
The bloodline.
And
Yes.
when they got word that this Bobby Lashley and Street Profit thing is gonna kind of like calm it down, simmer down a little, because they didn't really know what they were gonna do with it yet. Like they were just starting. Because remember, they seemed like they were faces, and then all of a sudden they start coming with the suits, and then that's when they kind of was heel, and they didn't really know what to do with them, and they just said, "Fuck it, we'll just do the same thing, but with the Bloodline," and that's how they created the whole Roman and the Usos. That's how it started. The whole idea, they took it from the Hurt Business, and that's why they left the company. Well, because I think Shelton's contract expired first, or MVP. Somebody's expired, and then they left. Bobby's was the last one, and he chose not to sign back because of what was happening, what he saw them doing with what's supposed to be their gimmick. They were supposed to be what the Bloodline was.
Oh, I didn't know that. I've always assumed it was.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I heard.
For me, Man of the Hour, the rumors I saw were, what's it called? MVP was upset that he was Vince was forcing him into a all black stable and stuff like that. And when I saw him do the same thing in AEW, I'm like, aren't you a little bit hypocritical that you got mad that Vince was putting you in an all black stable and now you're doing it in AEW? That's the rumors I saw was that he was upset that Vince was forcing him into an all black stable that he didn't want to be in and stuff like that. That's what I saw, like from like Sean Ross Sapp and other like dirt sheets and stuff like that.
Oh no, I heard this from MVP himself. Like he's literally said that the whole Bloodline gimmick was based off of the Hurt Business.
And what are your guys' opinions on Big E's run as champion?
All right, I'm gonna answer that in a second. But Anthony, you can look up Chris Van Vliet's shoot interview with MVP. He just put out a shoot interview with him. Look that up on YouTube. Look up Chris Van Vliet and subscribe to him. The shoot interviews are so fucking good. He shoot interview like current wrestling, like current WWE talent right now. Everything. You definitely want to sit and watch that one.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing. I didn't watch when Big E had the title. I wasn't watching WWE then, so I don't know. I can't answer that. I know Man of the Hour and Crazy Dolphin can answer that, but I can't answer that at all because I wasn't watching it then.
Wait, what you tell me, what's the question?
Well, what are your guys' opinions on? You guys talked about like you were upset how they treated Kofi. Did they? Do you guys have the same feeling how they treated the run for Big E, or Big E was a little bit better?
No, I think I feel the same way. I mean, I feel like you put him in some bullshit matches, and then what he lost his match he lost his title in a fatal 4-way, I believe.
I think Big E. Yeah, I think he did.
Come on, man. And then how many chances he got after that?
Nah,
he never got a rematch.
Exactly.
He never got a rematch.
Not solo.
Exactly.
He might have had some.
And then he goes. Then he over here goes to. Then he does. Then I'm over here going out of my element, going to NXT, doing shit for you, and I get my neck broke.
Yeah. And he hasn't been back in the ring for a while because he
ain't never getting back in the ring.
Exactly.
Which is odd to me. Like, didn't Edge have the same injury and he's back in the ring already?
Mm-hmm.
And then also that injury. You got to think. Our bodies are all different. We might all bleed red, but our bodies are different. I think the break that Big E took was a different type of break than what Edge took. Big E's
Oh,
break where it was like, okay, we can fuse it back together. You can be a normal human being, but you can't take that type of brunt force. You can't take the type of brunt force ever again in life. Whereas
Gotcha.
Edge did it another way. He did some other type of surgeries. His body healed better. His body fused better, and he's able to take those brunts and blows like he used to. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think the break of what Big E took was different than what the break Edge took.
okay. I thought they were the same type of injury. That's why I
No,
asked that question.
I think it's yeah, I think it's different. Here's the thing, and if it was the same injury, it would still be our bodies healed differently. I think with Big E, I think they like you can't wrestle at all anymore. If we're gonna go this route, I think whatever route that he took I guess that route, and he said you can't take a bump another day of your life. You can't do this anymore.
Mhm.
With Edge, depending on what Edge was out, if I'm correct, he was out for almost 10 years, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So,
he was out for
so,
9 years. He was
so,
out for
So
9 years, and,
9 years,
and yeah,
right?
he
so
he
make
came back in like
Yeah.
2020 or something like that,
so
2023 or 2020.
yeah, because he did the
Okay.
Royal Rumble. He made his appearance at a Royal Rumble. He came back, but
Right. Yeah.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna need about maybe a good 7 or 8, 9 years to see what's gonna happen with Big E if that's the case. But I highly doubt that he's.
And
I think
people
he's
forget he was a
comfortable.
bodybuilder before. Like people
Yeah,
forget
No, he
before he,
was.
yeah,
Dude.
And look, don't forget how he
Fucking
got
monster,
started because
dude.
he was
hey,
somebody's like hit guy or something like that when he got started. He was
he was the
what was
bodyguard
that?
for Dolph Ziggler and
Right,
AJ Lee.
exactly. There you go.
oh
Hmm.
well. Speaking of that, we never touched on the return of AJ Lee.
Yeah, please speak
Oh,
on this because I don't know anything. I really don't. This is foreign to me. This is
Okay,
during the time I didn't watch
what
Diva
so
or any of this. So
do all of you guys know AJ Lee?
Yes.
Okay, so how do you
I'm familiar
feel?
with him. Yeah.
How do you feel about the return? She's another one that's been gone for like 10 years or whatever. And so what is your
Wait and see.
Yeah, same here, same here. I don't know what storyline is that they have set up for her, but uh, I don't know.
It
so
seems
I
like
This
they're
think
setting her up, taking the women's intercontinental from Becky.
that's what
Becky,
I think. That's what I
yeah,
think is going to happen.
yeah.
I think she's going to sit up there, get herself involved with that. Like they're gonna have this little stupid little tag match, whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
who I don't care who wins. I don't know. I think
I couldn't
if
care less.
CM Punk and AJ loses, it just opens the door for them. They're gonna be double champions. They're gonna find a way to possibly put the title on CM Punk
thank you.
and
I was
the
about to say that.
Intercontinental title on AJ. So then they could be the new so-called power couple and whatever, and just
Mm-hmm.
have CM Punk and have Seth and Becky losing their damn minds about it. That's
No,
what I
and for
think.
me, when it comes to if AJ wins the title, the intercontinental title, I think what she's gonna do is maybe use it because Roxanne actually did an interview where she said that the person she wanted to wrestle and take a title off of was not Becky, it was AJ. So they might set up a storyline like that where Roxanne is the one to dethrone AJ because Roxanne even said her
But
character is loosely based off AJ's character.
right, yeah, her and the other girl who was in NXT at the time, Cora Jade.
Yeah, they're big AJ fans and stuff like
Right.
that.
So a little after the show, I seen a picture of CM Punk, AJ, and Roxanne together and whatever. Then somebody made a comment saying that did we just forget that fast that Roxanne did put her hands also on CM Punk.
Oh yeah,
So
did she slap him?
she did a move to him, I believe. So that could
Yeah, she
lead to
did.
that too. that can lead to that after this whole Becky Lynch crap.
That's
That'll
the
be a
next
way.
storyline.
Yeah, because we don't know how long AJ's here for. I don't think AJ's here for a long time. I think AJ is here just
It's a
to.
3-year deal, I think.
Well, yeah, that's long. But I think okay, well, I'm thinking she here to the end of the year type shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking of. But no, if we talk about 3 years, then yeah, they got something planned out for her and whatever. Because you're not gonna just and she's a book author also, so she's selling her book. And I seen the little promo they did real quick on Raw, I
Right.
believe. They showed her signing books and stuff like that. So that's just another way of WWE being WWE. Like I'm pretty sure that was in the deal. Like
Mhm.
I'll come back if you promote my book, if you sell my
Did they
book.
do that with Mick
Of
Foley when
course.
he released his book when he was general manager or something like
Oh,
that? Like,
Hell
dude.
yeah, that was
Hell
all set
yeah.
up for that.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah,
Dude,
they did that on
Sacco, the
purpose.
book, you gotta think, he was making a shitload of money for fucking WWE. This is the thing, WWF, this is WWF still like at like close to still attitude era, and this is right around the time that he got thrown off the cage by Undertaker. Dude, they was making a shitload of money off of that man. Are you kidding me? He had the
Hmm.
number one selling book in America, if I'm correct at that time.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
So
Yeah,
and also,
he was not on. Yeah, shit. Not to cut you off, Mr. Paul. Not only you talking about he had a best selling book, he was selling products, he was a fan favorite anywhere he went, he was a fan favorite. And I remember meeting him when I was working at Marriott. Bill Apner, the chief and editor for the Wrestling magazine. Um, And I sat there and talked to him, and this is right around the time that he's about to announce his retirement. And I said, Nick, I said, if this is the case, man, I appreciate everything you did because at that time, remember he had a stint in ECW around that time as well. So people forget that hardcore shit. He was doing that hardcore shit in FMW in Japan and then ECW before he came to the WWF. So that was like normal shit to him. But getting thrown off a fucking cage where nobody told him that the cage wasn't fucking like they didn't have real like they had fucking strips holding the fucking ceiling of the cage together and not actual beams holding the steel cage together. Like that's a fucking problem, you know.
yeah,
So yeah, man, that dude made a
yeah,
lot of
and
money
for
for
me, the
WWF.
reason and Dolphin Winners to me, the reason how I found out about John Moxley when he was in WWE, they
Mhm.
released a shoot promo he did with Mick Foley where John Moxley blamed Foley for all the deaths in hardcore wrestling, like the young wrestlers who died because of hardcore wrestling and stuff like that. And
Mm.
when I saw that promo, I'm like, does my I assumed it was real. I thought Moxley really hated him. I'm like, or was it? Do you remember that promo, Man of the Hour? Like one of his first like FCW promos where they released it on YouTube recently where he did a promo with a shoot promo where he blamed Foley for all the deaths of these independent wrestlers who were doing like ZZW and like the hardcore wrestling and stuff, backyard wrestling.
I didn't see it. No.
Yeah, no, but when I saw that promo, I'm like, does Moxley actually hate him, or is this just a promo and stuff like? I couldn't tell if it was he actually hated Foley for real and stuff like that. But
No,
after,
I don't know.
Right.
I mean,
I don't.
I
I
remember
don't know.
seeing old footage and what have you, of Mick Foley actually being on top of his. I don't know if it was his parents' house when he was a teenager and doing all these crazy moves and what have you. But that part, I mean, what you're saying, Anthony, I can't say if it's true or not. It wouldn't surprise me, but you know, we gotta understand Mick Foley's been taking risks ever since he had interest in wrestling. Because I mean, like I said, for a young teenager, or what have you, being on top of his parents' roof or whoever roof that was, and jumping off and doing all kind of crazy stuff. I mean, this ain't nothing new to me about him.
he's a psych. The guy's a like he actually said he started doing that because of the Funks,
Mhm.
Terry and his brothers,
You're right, the
stuff like
Funk
that,
brother. That's right. That part I remember. That part I remember right on that.
and Bruiser
And
Brody too.
he has a high threshold for pain. Also, he does.
Right, because
Yes.
I'm like, how you gonna? I mean, yeah, Mick Foley was doing outrageous stuff, but I mean, the Hardys wasn't.
Oh, they were doing it too, big time.
Oh, the
In
Hardys,
fact,
shit.
But I'm
in
saying,
But
fact,
here's
wasn't
the
that's
thing,
why
though.
the
I think
young
that's
one,
true.
the young one had drug problems. I think because he was taking a lot of pain medicine. Jeff Hardy, if I'm not mistaken.
About
And
Jeff.
yeah, I think he was with the moves that that he would do. It got to the point where he had to be prescribed pain medicine, and he got addicted to
Hmm.
Well,
well,
you
And
gotta think about
and
this, bro. You're going through tables. Now you gotta think about this for a second. You're going through tables and you're doing these spots, and you gotta remember the rigorous schedule back then. Now the wrestling
it.
schedule is lighter compared to
Mm,
what the wrestling schedule was back then, because these men and women were wrestling 300 days a year.
yeah,
So with
yeah,
that being said, his body was going through so much wear and tear. Like you only gonna take so much. The body only gonna take so much. That's why a lot of these men and women got addicted to pain medication, and they had
yeah.
problems with overdoses and
mhm.
addictions and stuff like that because their body was in so much pain.
Hmm.
The doctors were just giving them whatever, and they had to get a hold on it because the doctors, like for example, Kurt Angle will never be the same again. That man had multiple surgeries on his neck.
Yeah,
He got addicted to pain
yeah,
medication. He got addicted, literally addicted.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and for me, I understand. I'm a big Darby fan, and I fear, like, I understand it's not the same and stuff like that, but the way he throws his body around and stuff like that, it feels like he doesn't care about his body. Like, I feel he's gonna become like he says he's never gonna go back to being addicted to pain medication, but with the way he throws his body around, that's an inevitability. No matter how much he says he's never gonna go back to that, like I feel he's going to become Jeff, where he's going to be dealing with these issues. Uh, Dolphin winners. I'm a big fan of Darby, and I seriously worry about the guy and stuff like that.
I like Darby too. I like Darby too.
So,
The man said, "Well, you got to think." All right, so here's the thing. I work. I can't really talk more on the subject, but I can talk about the basics on the subject. I work in a mental hospital, so it really is a mental thing with a person when they come out saying that. If they already went to hell already, they're not trying to go back to hell. You get what I'm saying? I can say
Yeah,
it in that type of sense. You get what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
yeah,
you got to take the man as his word. Like a person is only as good as their word. That's just a generalization of just society and life as is. If your word ain't shit, you ain't shit. And that's just that's not being judgmental. That's nothing. That is just being factual. If you're gonna be who you are as your word, be who you are as your word. Don't sit there and tell me it's one thing. Don't tell me a dream and it's a fucking dud. You get what I'm saying? So you are who you are by your word. And if the man's gonna stand on his word, I respect that man. I really do. But he's doing it for the fans. He's doing it for the thrill. He's doing it for the moment. And I hope and pray as he gets to become an older gentleman, like in our ages or older than us, that the effects, like you're going to see him probably walking with a walker or something probably by the time he's in his 40s or 50s or something like that. Because we saw how Sabu looked then. Sabu, I love Sabu. God bless Sabu. But I
yeah,
just really believe he didn't need to be in that match, yo. He he didn't need to be in that match. And to watch it, like I've seen Sabu live in person back in the ECW arena. I remember the height of all that, and I'm a huge fan of that. I like the same way I didn't want to see Sabu wrestle that match was the same way I didn't want to watch Ric Flair tag up with Jay Lethal and go against the wrestlers he went against about a year and a half ago. I didn't want to see that. I want to remember my heroes as what they were. It hurt me to sit there and see Sabu do that shit to his body, and then 2 weeks later he passed away. That hurt me so much. to see that
Mm.
because you just knew. You know what I'm saying? You had that gut feeling. You just knew, like, I don't think it's a good idea because you could see him walking and you could see him just walking. It was hard for him just to walk,
It was almost similar to
you
watching.
know? So,
It was almost similar to watching the Ultimate Warriors last night
Yeah,
on.
Ultimate Warrior. Yeah, the last time. Yeah. Also,
right.
one Terry Funk, because Terry Funk had got to. I seen him get to the point where I said, "Good grief, Terry, man, the way you walk into your ring, man, good grief, you can barely walk." But he was putting
Mm-hmm.
himself down that ring. He wrestled as long as he could.
Some people
But
don't
yeah, I
know.
know.
Yeah,
And the
Just
Lex
don't.
Luger thing is, for me, the Lex Luger thing is actually sad because the steroids caught up to him and he's in a wheelchair. That's another one. Like the steroids that some of these wrestlers took finally caught up to them and stuff like that. And now Lex is in a wheelchair. He can barely walk.
What-
They had to do a thing before his what's it called, his Hall of Fame induction, where they showed DDP trying to help him learn to walk again, and there was multiple times where he almost gave up. Like he couldn't do it mentally.
Mhm.
Both
well, I say
both
this to you. There's video surfacing right now that Lex Luger is walking with assistance thanks to
Mhm.
Yeah,
DDP,
I seen that
thanks to
video.
his yoga classes.
Yeah,
So yeah,
and
so
also,
he's not walking like normally like me and you and us, but he is up and walking.
right.
And what you were about to say about Buff Bagwell, you got to think he's an amputee now. You know,
Yeah,
he lost his
exactly.
leg
It sure
recently.
did. Sure did.
You know
Prayers
what
out
I'm
to him.
saying? But you know what? He's had a, now, I'm gonna say this: if you want to watch something after, like, I know it's college football on today, and I know there's other things on today, whatever. Watch the Dark Side of the Ring, Buff Bagwell story.
Oh,
That's all I need to say to anybody on this panel. That
mhm.
right there, my God, my goodness, like wow.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That man, they showed the reason why he was out of. Remember the time when he was in WCW with Hulk Hogan, part of the NWO and all that stuff, and then you just didn't see
Right.
him anymore. Well,
He
it talked
disappeared.
about the boating accident that it was a boat. It was a boating accident that almost killed him.
That's the one that disfigured his face, right?
He almost died from a boating accident.
Well,
Yeah.
that's
Holy
also
shit.
the BK.
Oh my
That's
God.
also Bruce the BK. That's what happened to him
Yeah.
too.
Oh, okay. No, that was Beefcake that had the
Hmm.
face injury.
Yeah, that was
Okay. Yeah.
BK.
Yeah.
Bruce the
Not
BK.
Bagwell.
Right.
In fact,
All right, that was my
his
bad. It was Beefcake. That was Beefcake. That wasn't Bob. All right, so yeah, it was Beefcake.
For me, the
But gentlemen, we
saddest
got
Dark Side
five.
of the Ring to me is the Vader story. Like how Vince mistreated him so badly that he almost gave up wrestling.
But I remember
Yeah, I
after a
mean, you
match.
got to think. You got to remember. Go ahead.
I remember after a match Vader had, he snatched his mask off, and they tried to interview him. Soon as he stepped right on the floor, and he was getting ready to walk back to the back, and they tried to interview him, and he was like, "I'm done. I'm a fat piece of shit," and he left.
Yep. But you know what it comes down to, and we got like about 5 minutes left in the show.
mm,
Dude,
Vince knows a way how to manipulate motherfuckers. He does. He's a master at it. Remember, this man. You got to give Vince his credit. This man was the man that created a lot of characters that generated him a shitload of money. So Vince
absolutely.
knows how to, but he is the master manipulator, and he knows like if he likes you, oh, if you're on Vince's good graces, and we all know all the time it says this, if Vince likes you, then you're good. You're gonna be fine. But if Vince don't like you, oh boy.
Triple H is taking it to a
So
new level.
I mean, Triple H is
hey,
a Vince
listen,
McMahon
we
guy.
got less than 5 minutes.
Doing his own thing.
Exactly. I was about to say that.
He's
All right,
doing his
guys, 5 minutes left. Who you guys got to fight tonight?
Ah, man, I got Canelo.
I got a draw.
Canelo by what?
I don't know. Canelo.
Crawford by knockout, 11th round. I've been saying it for a minute. I think Crawford's going to shock the world, and I think Crawford's going to sit there and impress the action. Because I think the underdog is Crawford, even though he's been an underdog his whole career.
Yeah.
And everybody said that he could never do it, and he's done it. He's the undisputed. He's the only man that's been undisputed in 2 different weight classes. And he's going for a 3rd undisputed title, meaning all the belts. That would be the only boxer in history, man or woman, to ever do that. Right now, him and Claressa Shields are in a class of their own. They're both the only man or woman to hold all unified belts in 2 different weight classes. Terrence Crawford can be in another class by himself. Canelo is a mastermind. He is a master at his craft. This will not be an easy fight. I expect a great fight. I expect to start slow in the 1st and 2nd round and fill each other out. I think by the 4th, 5th, and 6th round that you're going to start seeing fireworks. I think this is going to be a hell of a fight, guys. But I got Crawford by knockout.
Wow.
When was the last time Crawford? I can say that ask the same question about Canelo, but when is the last time truly he one punch knocked out someone? He TKO'd people by wearing them down, but when was the last time he actually knocked out someone?
Well, I'll say this. The Spence fight was the most masterful class of boxing I've ever seen against somebody of a caliber that was high. Spence was the one. Everybody picked Spence for that fight. I picked Crawford because I knew what Crawford could do. Crawford methodically beat his ass every fucking round. And I'm going to be honest with you, Anthony, he could have knocked him out any time. He could have knocked him out. He could have knocked him out, but he punished him for 10 rounds. I think the last time he might have knocked somebody out, it's been years since the last time he's knocked anybody out. Same thing with Canelo, though. Yeah, I think it was 140 was the last time he knocked somebody out. But I'll say
Timothy Bradley.
Canelo hasn't knocked anybody out recently either.
Yeah.
I think it was after. I think it was after the Timothy Bradley fight. I don't think it was just that.
Yeah, no, but I've been saying this. I give him credit for moving up in weights, but there's weight classes for a reason. Mm-hmm. And Canelo's been comfortable at that weight for the last 9 years, and I don't think Canelo is gonna respect his power. Like, Canelo's gonna feel the power, but he's not he's gonna feel it and just gonna brush it off. That's what I fear, that Canelo, in his mindset, that he's gonna come forward, and when he feels that Crawford's punches are not hurting him, he's just gonna continue walking Crawford down and stuff like that. That's what I fear.
Well, with that being said, we will see. We got 2 minutes left. I just want to let everybody know in the chat, thank you for listening and watching us today. Definitely. Anthony said it's going to be a draw. Mr. Polk, you got the last word. You got less than 2 minutes.
Listen, everybody, hit that like button, subscribe and support. You're seeing a great show up here with Paul Dolphin Winners, Manny, myself, and Anthony. Smash that like button, subscribe, and support, and listen. Enjoy. Today is college football day. Tomorrow is the Miami Dolphins day. So enjoy, be safe, and have a great weekend.
Man of the hour.
I agree with everything he said. I don't know about the Dolphin part, but I mean, hey, I agree with everything, and I said it a couple weeks ago, and I said it a couple weeks before then. Fuck Jerry Jones.
You're a Cowboy fan, I'm assuming.
Yes, sir.
And with that, yeah, he's a Cowboy fan. And with that being said, we will see you guys in 2 weeks. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see y'all in 2 weeks. Have a good day. Peace, y'all.